When working with ACT, you may decide to change some of the default personal preferences for your ACT user account. So in this video, we're going to work with modifying some basic ACT preferences that are available to all user types. You can find all kinds of preferences settings in the Tools area by clicking the Tools button in the left navigation. But the most common preferences that you will want to set when you're beginning can be found by clicking your Account button in the top right corner and then locating this Preferences area below. Let's start by setting the time zone. This is probably the most important preference to consider because your calendar activities will be coordinated with other users and contacts from ACT. So I'm going to click the Date and Time preference. The Date and Time Preferences screen lets you set your time zone at the bottom. I'm going to make sure that my time zone is set to Arizona because that's where I live. You can also choose to set your short and long date styles that you'd like to see while you're logged into ACT. And you can also switch between a 12-hour and a 24-hour time style on this screen. Once you're satisfied with these settings, click OK to save those preferences. Next, let's look at some preferences for my calendars. To access this, we need to make sure we go to the Tools area in the left navigation, and then I like to use these filter buttons at the top of the screen to find exactly what I need. So I'm going to filter by Email and Calendar Tools. From here, I'm going to click the Calendar Preferences button. Now first, I want to set my work week by declaring the first day of my work week. For me, it's Monday. And then I'm going to set the number of days in my work week, which is 5 days. And then finally, I'm going to set the typical start and end time for my work days. For me, it's usually 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. In the next section, which is called Calendar Increments, all I need to do is decide how to display my calendar in units. Currently, both my daily calendar and workweek calendar are set to 30-minute increments, but I'm going to switch the daily calendar to 15-minute increments. Now the rest of the settings here are fine, so I'm just going to click OK. Now let's have a look at what we've done so far by going to the Calendar and Task List area. From here, I'm going to make sure I click Calendar at the top of the screen, and I want to start by looking at my day calendar view. You can see that my workday starts at 8 a.m. and it ends at 5 p.m. The increments on my daily calendar are set at 15-minute intervals. Also, this is using the 24-hour time style as I requested. Now I'm going to switch over to my work week calendar view. We can see here that my work week starts on Monday, and there are 5 days listed in my work week. Also, the increments here are set to 30-minute intervals. So far, so good. Now, the last thing that I want to do is to set up the initial screen that I see when I log into ACT. This is a startup preference, which we can see either from the Tools area or, again, by clicking the Account button in the top right corner and choosing Startup. Now, the only thing I'm interested in right now is this top dropdown where it says Default Startup View. By default, ACT is going to display the Welcome screen, which is also called the Home screen. But maybe I want to change my default startup view so that ACT shows me something else when I log in. I could choose to view my opportunity list or my task list, or maybe even my contact list. Once I've made my selection, we'll click OK. And then to test this, all I really need to do is go to my Account button and log off. And then I'll just simply log back in again. As you can see, instead of showing the home screen, ACT now displays my list of contacts as my new default startup view.